Okay, Jen, are you there?
Hear me?
I can
Oh,
hear you. Okay.
shit.
Hey,
Look
girl.
how fat my face is.
I can't with you. So we'll wait and give people a couple minutes, see if anybody hops on.
Yeah. I was like, I'm just going to go in the gym. Nobody's here. It's Sunday night, you know?
Right. You got your teeth soaking right now?
Yeah. Well, I got everything packed up because we'll get up in the morning and have breakfast and then go, you know?
Right. So do you soak your teeth or do you brush them?
I soak them and then I brush them with just the water. Hot
Oh, okay.
water, not the water from the solution.
Right.
I was thinking about getting something to brush them with, but I don't need it yet. I think as I have them longer, I'll need more. 'Cause
Hey,
I drink
girl.
coffee and smoke
Yep.
cigarettes, so
Same. Same. Um.
my mom, she smoked crack with her teeth, and she had this brown stain, like circle stain,
Oh
on her
my
teeth
goodness.
forever. And I remember because we used to get high, and then I'd try to scrub it off.
Now, was that her real teeth or was it dentures?
They were dentures.
Yeah.
So don't smoke crack with your dentures.
I can't with you. Oh my God. Yeah. Facts. Well, it's plastic too. I mean, yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's like
Um.
one of the first things I thought of when I got mine because I couldn't smoke a cigarette without them like popping in the back. I can now, but and I was like, how the hell did she smoke crack with these things in?
Is your mom clean now?
Yeah, she says she is. She just smokes weed now.
Right. Right. Which I'm totally for anybody that does anything to help them stay off whatever their
Yeah,
drug of choice was. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I wanted to start off by saying how me and Jen met, and that was in rehab in 2012.
yeah. 20 no, 2013.
Was it?
Yeah,
Or where it was 2012? Was it 2013?
it was the beginning. We got there in January
We did.
of 2013
Yep. You
because
were
I
there. Like,
remember I left early and it was April.
right.
So
And
that put,
then from there, we've been friends on and off since then.
yeah, not really. I mean, not really on and off, just we didn't keep 100% track of each other. Our
Right.
addictions went on and off for a
That's
long
true.
time. So,
Very true. You know, the Sally is the only rehab I've ever been to.
really?
Yep. I wasn't allowed in any other ones because of the drug of choice I had at the time.
Um, yeah, my main thing was always alcohol. And of course, like I smoked crack, but I liked it, but it wasn't when I thought about, oh, I want to go get messed up, it wasn't crack, it was alcohol. So it was hard for me at first because they're like, are you going to go through DTs? We don't want to do all that. And I'm like, I don't do DTs. I never did DTs,
Right.
which I got lucky that I
You
didn't
got
get
real
that.
lucky. I don't know if you remember my detox at the rehab and how bad it was.
Yeah.
Like how I prayed to die every day. It was a nightmare.
That place was horrible anyways to everybody. I would hate to have to go through that in there.
Right.
You know, they weren't the type. Okay, so I like their concept of work therapy, as what they called it. I mean, because we do need to be taught like to get on a schedule. You wake up, you eat breakfast, you pray or do whatever, meditate, whatever you need to do, and then go to work and live a healthy, stable life. The reasons they were doing it wasn't good.
Well, it was for money. But I don't know if you can see the comments. Cher is actually talking to you. Cher is the one that has been an angel, the lady I told you about that's been helping me through this. You'll
Oh,
have to click them. Yep, I told
yep, I
you.
see them.
Yep. Hello, Shorty. But yeah, that's the one thing I said about that rehab. They don't teach you how to live on the way out. You know what I mean? When you leave rehab, you're like stuck. And I remember the first time I left rehab, how much anxiety I had. Like I couldn't even go in the stores because I didn't know how to
They
act
lock
of being high.
they
You know what I mean?
yeah, and they lock you in there, you know.
Right.
Like I said, I like the concept. It was a good concept, but all they
Right.
cared about was like the money. Like, okay, you know, like if you work for the store, they might hire you, but then you have to live with us for 3 months after to keep your
And
job, and you
pay.
have to pay us $700 rent. And if you get
Right.
SSI, you still have to work and pay us $700 a month rent.
Right.
Like, what is that? If the state knew that, you'd be shut down. That's probably why they're shutting them all down now.
Right. Crazy. It's crazy. But I don't know. When you got in some trouble, we did whatever we wanted and we didn't give a fuck. You know,
Yeah.
but whatever. We almost got wrote up a lot, but I'm so just glad that I don't ever have to deal with that again. And that's something I am going to put in the comments, a number for people to get help if they want it. So how long have you
Okay.
been clean now, Jen?
Um, I have 100% been clean since May of 2020.
That's
Um,
awesome,
I
girl.
started like really focusing and wanting to be clean back in 2015 when I got pregnant with Selah, and I went to Positive Images in Detroit, which is also a really great place. Like they really help you out there. And they do help with housing and all that. So it really is awesome. Um, I didn't have to go through the whole program or the housing and any of that because of Carlos, but um, I struggled like every 6 months or so. I would go out and drink and relapse. Just a little, they call it a hiccup. It's still a relapse to me.
Right. Well, and that's the thing people don't realize. Alcohol is one of the hardest addictions. Alcohol, and I would say benzos are pretty up there too, because
Hmm.
alcohol is in every corner and it's legal. It's you can go anywhere and get it. You know, like when I left rehab, I relapsed and started using H, and it was harder to find, which something I do regret. I wish I would have never started that because I don't know if you remember in rehab, I was like, I never do heroin. I was just on pills. I would never do that. But then my whole life changed once shit hit the fan and uh my heart got taken.
Yeah.
Everything was literally shit.
That's
So
what, when I got pregnant with Selah, uh, I was living pretty much in a trap house, I guess you can call it, with my friend, and we prostituted and all of that. It was her sugar daddy's apartment, but I mean, we ran the place, so it was a trap house. And I found out I was pregnant, and I called at the time Southwest Solutions, and I was like, hey, I found out I'm pregnant. I'm living here. It's a drug house, and that all this is going on. I need to get clean. I need help with housing. I need all this stuff because I don't want to lose my kid again. And they said, well, as long as you got lights and water, we can't do nothing for you.
wow.
And so
Well,
I
I think
stayed there for like a month, of course, still getting high and stuff, and just like I wanted to die, but I didn't know how to get away from it.
right.
And
I
then
think
I
that's the biggest problem too. Pregnant women can't ever get help. One, because they're pregnant, and two,
or
there's no place for you. There's nowhere to go. If
and
you're
you're
pregnant,
scared. You're scared if
yep,
you go into a rehab or any of that, they're going to be like, "Oh, you're pregnant and you were out there using drugs. We're
right.
taking your baby."
Oh, right away. Yeah,
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 instantly. And
right away.
so when I went to the doctors, let's say when I was pregnant with her, that's the first thing I told. I said, "I'm a recovering addict. I went to rehab and signed myself in there. I want you to do a drug screen every time I come in here." And I think I told you that too when you were pregnant with Josephine. I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to."
No, you're okay. It's okay.
Yeah. But I told them, I said, do every time I come in here, piss test me. I
Right.
want them all on paper because I knew they were coming
Yeah.
because of my past history too. I was like, I know they're coming. Do everything. And I got to
Right.
go home with my baby. But
Which is one of the hardest things I think I ever had to do when I was homeless. I knew what was coming, and I knew that they were going to make me leave after I had my daughter, AJ. And now she's adopted out. I did all that process where I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and just my mind wasn't right. And that's something I do regret, and I hate myself for it. And I know you know how that feels. But at the time, she needed a good mom and a mom that was
yep,
stable and a good dad. But that was one of the hardest moments of my life, having my baby and then them getting security and calling the cops and making me leave.
yeah,
I've never felt pain like that. That was the worst pain I have ever felt in my life. But I will say that is her mom and dad. And a lot of people in my family get pissed because how can you say that? You're her mom, you gave birth to her. Yeah, I'm her mom, but the her mom. I'm not laughing. I'm just it's upsetting, and I'm trying not to cry.
yeah,
Um, her mom, her adopted mom, is good to her. She's amazing to her. And I want and ask for them to have anybody else in the world. You know what I mean? She couldn't have
right,
kids, whatever, whatever. I don't know their reasoning, but it was so weird how it all happened. And I don't worry about her because I know she's very much loved and she's very much taken care of. Um, it's just shitty. It's very shitty. But that's the thing. They don't have these programs that help you. They don't have programs that help pregnant women that are homeless or help people that are using, and then they'll tell you, oh well, if you quit using, your baby could die, or
yep,
you go through rapid detox, and so will your baby, and you both could have problems. And people don't realize that. They just want to judge you right off rip. Oh, you're a piece of shit, yada yada
yeah.
yada.
That is like one of the first things they told me too with Selah. I was like, and I had already gotten clean by the time I got into the doctors. I was already, and I wasn't using, like heroin. So I didn't have to worry about that
The
really.
relapse.
I already
Yeah.
knew that I can
Yeah.
get clean off of crack and it wasn't going to hurt her. But as
Right.
soon as I told the doctor I was clean, he was like, "You really should have tapered a little bit. How do you taper off a crack? I'm sorry." I
Right.
I felt like, and I'm so skeptical of everybody now after what happened with Emma. And I'm like, I feel like they were trying to set me up. Like,
Yeah.
here, you need
Girl,
to
I get
keep.
scared talking about it. These
Yeah,
videos make me scared. Talking about it right now, I am scared. But the thing is I do want to put awareness out there. People do not know what CPS is capable of and what they can do. And even if
right.
you do what they say to do, that doesn't mean you're going to get your kids back. Because my attorney looked right at me and said, I hope you know, no matter what you do, you're not getting your kids back. I didn't believe her. I did everything I was supposed to. Went to rehab for 6 months, got 2 jobs, got, back on my feet, but I couldn't get an apartment in time.
Yeah,
But I was, spending all my money on seeing them. And that's what was
they.
bullshit. I didn't get the help like they used to give. You know what I mean? They used to help people get apartments and cars and,
Uh huh.
you
They
know,
never took us when we were kids. We had roaches, dirty houses, a crack addicted mother. They come in there and she'd be like, "You want them? Fucking take them then. Take
right.
them." And they'd be like, "Oh no, you can keep them." Like, well, F you, and you come take my kids. Like, I got really lucky because I'm in Wayne County, and I know that Wayne County still is crappy and takes people's kids for no reason.
Right.
But yeah, sorry.
No, you're okay. You're okay. No, I know. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just, no, some people give advice about being careful where you say you are. It's for your
Yeah.
protection, and you know what I mean? And your kids,
Yeah, you
you
know
know,
how I am. I'm like, what can you
very
do to me?
open. No, 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 I
I
know. You
am.
don't
I'm very open.
give a fuck. I
That's what
know.
bothers my husband because he's like,
You're
You
too
just will
open.
say
Yeah.
anything. And I'm like, I'm an open book. If I can tell you everything about me, then you ain't got nothing to use against me.
Right.
I already know myself. I 100% know myself. So you can't put me down because there's nothing you can tell me about me that I'm not here to verify.
Right.
But I do
Tree.
want to mention on the CPS thing, with Emma, they took Emma because her dad was abusive
Right.
towards me, and I left them. And like we had probation there, and we had the same probation officer, same date, and I left her with at the shelter with the sitter there that they had. And I went to probation. He was there, and they just happened to drive by and see him there and me there. So they
Right.
were gonna come and take her. It was a Friday, and the people at the shelter are like, no, she's here. I can verify it. You can come look, everything. And they're like, okay, we're gonna give you one more chance. So the following Monday, I called them and I was like, hey, I'm going up to the library to fill out applications online so I can get a job, do all this. So they knew why I wasn't out. It was a small town. If they drove anywhere, they were going to see me, not where you know, they knew where I was going to be. And I was
Right.
there maybe an hour on the computer, and she was eating, she was drinking a bottle, and I turned around because she dropped it, and I turned around to give it back to her, and there they are with the police.
Oh
And
my
they took her
God.
from me. I asked them, when am I going to court? All this. Oh, you don't have a court date yet? We'll let you know. I never heard nothing. They had an emergency court date the next day. After they took her, they didn't offer me nothing. No mental health help, nothing about rehab. I didn't know anything about going to rehab until I was 23 years old, 2 years after they took her, and that was in a whole different state.
Yeah.
No,
I think that's
nothing, no
the
help at all.
sad part about us too, is we started as kids. We started using
Yeah,
very, very young. And we might have had some people that were like, yeah, quit. But we really didn't have somebody there to be like, hey, get your head out of your ass, stop being selfish. You're gonna ruin your life. And yeah, I mean, we did have, I don't know if you did. I did have a couple of people that, hey, calm down, whatever. But I really didn't have anybody I felt that give a fuck. You know what I mean?
right. Right, me either, for sure. I never felt like anybody really cared about me. We didn't have a stable life. Hold on. I'm still talking. I just can't see
No,
me.
you're okay. You're okay.
Um, we didn't really have a stable life, and we never had I had no constant in my life, my entire life.
Right.
So, besides me, my brother who wasn't much better. Um so as an adult, I just kind of carried that with me. I was always my mom's friend. I was her partner in crime. I was the person that helped her get drugs. My
Oh, she must have lost signal. Can you guys hear me?
sorry, my
No.
internet's messing
Oh,
up.
cool. Okay, good.
He keeps
So they
messaging
put
me
in.
too,
They
wanting to
put
know where
in.
I'm at.
Oh,
Like,
do you have
I
to
just got
go?
on.
No, they keep saying in the messages that in the comments, they make money off adoption. It's kidnapping, and that's exactly it. People don't realize that uh, they get a big fat fucking check for every kid adopted. And they don't, people don't get it. They don't realize that, these foster care workers get paid. They make bank,
Yeah, the
for every kid adopted.
Emma's actual worker told me that she gets a commission check every night that Emma had to stay in her house until they found her placement. Like with babies, like little babies, when they remove them from the mother, they go with the worker.
Wow.
So they had to take her. They could not drop her off anywhere. As soon as she took her out of my arms, she had to
Well,
take
no,
her everywhere with her.
that's the biggest check right there, honey, is a newborn. That's what they want. They want them newborn babies.
Oh,
They
yeah.
want them. And that's what, when I had AJ. I was so malnourished from being homeless. I had to have her, early. So she spent a while in the hospital, 19 days to be exact. And I didn't leave her side until I knew they were going to call security. And that's when, foster care come in, yada, yada, yada. But I already knew what was going to happen. And everybody was trying to make me to go to the hospital earlier because they knew I was malnourished from lack of food and drinks from being homeless. And I knew what was going to happen. Everybody's like, go, go, go. But yeah, it was a nightmare. And I knew if she got taken as a newborn, it was going to be 10,000 times harder to get her back. And it
Oh
was.
yeah. They don't want to give them back. With my son that I have, my stepson, I don't like
Yeah.
calling him that, but his mother, she just left. She didn't even try with him. Um, they immediately put him in to foster care. He didn't even finish detoxing. Like they put him right into a home right away and started setting up for adoption.
Right.
And my husband threw a fit. No, he had to do the DNA test. We did it. We got it all done before by the time he was 4 months old,
Right.
but they were so ready. Let's adopt this newborn baby out. They were mad really that he actually had a loving home. They threw us through, we had to jump through hoops, even me. And I was so
Right.
surprised because I was like, are you sure you even want to put me on this? You know, but we jumped through all the hoops and they gave them to us, thankfully. But
Right.
they really didn't want to. They didn't want to do the DNA test. They were making him come out there like once a week, and he already had Amelia, oh, um, who is the same mother. He had her since birth. So it's like, why are you putting him through all this when you know already that he's a stable home and he's the biological father?
Right.
It was crazy.
It is
But
crazy
it
for
just
me.
goes to show you the difference. And you see, like, if they came right now, they would do anything in their power to try and keep my children in my home because they're 8 years old.
Right.
They don't want them. But if
Yeah.
I had a baby right now and I messed up, they'd be doing everything trying to take that baby.
Right.
When
Or
they
five
took
under.
Emma,
Mm-hmm.
and this was in another state, but when they took her, they did not take my other two children. They only took her. And
Wow.
then they didn't remove my rights. I still have rights to my oldest daughter now. She doesn't live with me because I went down, physically went to court and signed over guardianship to my cousin when she was 4 years old. They never took her.
Oh, wow.
They didn't care anything about them, just that, you know, 4 month old baby. I can't stay on here much longer.
No, you're okay. If you got to get off, that's okay. We can wrap this up and maybe do it another time. I know
Yeah.
I do want to talk more about
It'll be
the
better when I'm
life
home.
without our kids. And yeah, we do have some of our kids at home, but I don't think people realize the emptiness we feel every day and the guilt. And I think other
Oh
people
yeah.
need to realize that because I think other people out there did do the same shit as us and did um use maybe when they first found out they were pregnant and then try to get help. But yeah, it's crazy. Okay, girl, well, go ahead and get off here. I'm gonna get off here too. My little one is still up, so I'm probably gonna do the
Yeah.
same thing. We'll schedule something and actually maybe take an hour or two and actually talk. These people already
Yeah, when
love
I'm
you, girl.
home and I
They're
can
right
just
in the
like sit
comments
upstairs
how
and
awesome you
relax.
are and how honest you are and shit. So you know it's good. It's good. People feel comfortable when they know that they're not alone. So, but
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. All right. Love you, girl.
All right. Love you too, Jen.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.